14 pastime comedies tend to be excited and delighted to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Good afternoon to you, too. How you be? Yeah. Your knee looks great.
Oh,
I guess I didn't see it.
It's all wrapped up in like a mummy, but...
Yeah. You're like Boris Karloff. Didn't he star as the mummy?
No.
Was that Lon Chaney? No, it was Boris Karloff.
Well,
in the original, I'm talking about the original.
Oh,
I don't know what they've done since then.
Oh, I think of Karloff with Frankenstein. I think of Lon Chaney as the Wolfman.
Well, he was the Wolfman. No, I think Boris Karloff was also.
You might be right.
I'm almost certain.
I remember.
From when I was a kid, those were my favorites.
Oh,
when I was a kid, my favorite movies were, and it was in this order. My favorite was Frankenstein.
Yeah, I agree.
Mummy was second. Wolfman was third. Dracula didn't do a lot for me. And Invisible Man didn't either. And Creature of the Black Lagoon was a little too much for me. So
when they tossed in a little humor with Abbott and Costello meets.
No, I was out.
Frankenstein.
I like the frightening Frankenstein. Yeah. That's another.
Frankenstein with the little girl by the lake. Oh, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of this Twins club now? Did you hear what Jeremy Zoll said? I started reading the quotes earlier.
I did see it. I saw it. I heard the interview.
I started reading the quotes earlier, and then we had to go to the Brian Flores interview. But give me a second, because I want to read them for it's easier for me than just try to translate it. I'll just read exactly what Jeremy Zoll, who's the general manager of the soon-to-be World Series champion Minnesota Vikings, said. Here it is. He goes, they will be buyers. Or for the Twins. Did I say Vikings? I meant Twins.
That's all right.
Here's what he said. Get right to it, he said. Hold on. He says, we're going to use this next week to do everything we can to find ways to improve the club, continue to execute on that goal, and make it a reality. We're going to focus on finding ways to improve the bullpen, and that'll be a clear focus. Royce Lewis said, if we can win, we take care of business. That's the focus right now. Keep winning, keep pushing. Derek Shelton said, that was about the bad news is the hip. Byron Buxton to leave the game again last night. That's a quote about that. But here it is. As Ole said, the good news is there is alignment all across the board. We want to make the team better. The clubhouse, alignment mean with ownership, the field boss, the front office, everybody's in alignment. We want to make the team better. The clubhouse wants us to keep the group together and keep pushing forward. The fans want us to be better and have a winning product. And I predicted that if they stayed in, I don't think I'm the only one to predict this, but people were still wondering if it was still going to be the same old Pohlad. And I said, if Tom Pohlad is a man of his word, he said he didn't say it this way, but what I've said forever, it's the age of Aquarius. The moon's in the 7th house. Jupiter aligns with Mars. You have a team that's right now, it's in contention. Now, I know it's a weak American League. I know it's a weak Central Division, but you are right there primed to battle for a playoff spot. And if you are as angry, disappointed as the fan base is with the Pohlad family, this is the best way to try to patch things up. And it sounds like now, I don't expect any blockbusters. I don't think we're going to get the Ohtani character, and he wouldn't be a good fit anyways. But it's nice to see that they're actually saying we're gonna push our chips in the middle of the table and try to win some games.
Well, I thought Justin Morneau made a pretty good point in the broadcast booth last night. I was I don't know why I was locked into the game last night. It was kind of your kind of baseball game. Although the Twins hitting the 5 double plays last night.
Why wouldn't you be locked into the game?
We
got a team that's in the chase. Yeah, what else is there?
Morneau brought up the point. It's kind of a fine line that you have to, as a GM, that you have to. And he says, I've been through this before, obviously, as a veteran player, where you have to send the right message to the guys in the clubhouse who are going, wait a minute, I might be one of those guys that's going to get traded. What's wrong with my game? Why don't they like me? Why can't I stay here to kind of see it's that, but they understand what you sign up for. And that's when my retort to Justin does such a great job with these baseball insights, I think, is that.
You like Morneau as an analyst, don't you?
I do. I really do. I think he brings a lot to the table. But yeah, I think it's, and of course the Twins also have, more than likely it could be a minor leaguer or two to get another relief pitcher. I don't think they're going to make like I said, it's not going to be a big blockbuster trade, but they still need some help to put them over the top if they're going to do that. And they have that opportunity. I mean, last night, I think the Twins were the last team to come back and win the way they did, like in the ninth inning last night. Royce Lewis hitting that bomb off the facing of the right field deck out there, and driving in 2 runs when they were down to their last out. And Taj Bradley had been a terrific.
Nice inning, five innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He had a really nice outing. It's been a real surprise this year for me. I did not expect that from Taj Bradley.
No, I don't think anyone did. And again, the Twins were their own worst enemy, not hitting into 5 double plays, which set the American League record this year. I think it was the most double plays any team's hit into this year. And they still kind of found a way of overcoming it. And their relief pitching, the Twins' relief pitching, kind of held them in there when Bradley finally had to go out of the game after close to 100 pitches. So they find a way to win in the 9th inning, and now they got Joe Ryan, who missed the start because arm weariness, which is much better than arm problems. So he's back out there tonight against Kansas City, who have to be a little, I don't think disillusioned. Baseball players bounce back because that's just the way they are.
Well, they should be. They're probably disappointed. They had the game where they was 2-1, and it was.
They're not winning many, and they're missing a couple of their top players, including my guy Bobby Witt, right now. So they're 45 and 63. So the Twins have an opportunity tonight with Ryan on the mound. White Sox are playing the Yankees. The Twins could literally, they could be a game out of first place after tonight.
They will be a game out of first place after tonight.
It's.
Again, I believe in this team, and I believed in them ever since the season started, and you were down on them.
You believed in them since the beginning?
Since the very beginning of the season. I've been on their side the whole time.
You got a vivid imagination.
I'm telling you.
So, it was great. It was good to see, and hopefully, I think, we've talked about Ryan Jeffers, who's got a big hit last night again. They pinch ran for him, I think, in the 9th inning, but he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. He seems to be like he would be a logical, I think you could get a lot for Ryan Jeffers. I mean, a quality catcher, guy can hit.
We need a quality catcher. We need a guy that can hit. If we're going to try to make a postseason run, doesn't sound like it.
What?
Sounds like you're trying to push him out the door.
No, I'm not trying to push him out. I'm saying the speculation's been that because he is going to be a free agent, and in all likelihood,
sign him to a free agent contract. Give him the money that's worth. Well, Tom said they're going to do everything they can do to compete.
Then keep Ryan Jeffers.
That's what you do. Yeah. That's why I'm fully expecting them to keep him.
Well, I hope you're right, because that would be a nice plus, because when he was out for quite a spell with an injury, they missed him deeply, and now he's back and he's helping this team win a lot of games, and he's great behind the plate.
Quality defensive catchers that can hit.
Yeah,
do not grow from trees. If you have one of those, it's like having a franchise quarterback. Maybe not quite as important, but it's like having a franchise quarterback in your building and you let him go.
Well, look at that.
Guess what? Sam Darnold has deserved the right to test free agency. Do you think that KOC regrets those words and let him walk out? You don't let Jeffers test free agency. You sign him and keep him with the club.
I hope you're right. That would be nice. He's also really good at challenging pitches. I think his winning percentage and challenging pitches is pretty high. All those little things that make a difference. And as they say, he's a gamer. He's a guy that you plug in that lineup no matter where. Usually pretty high in the lineup. But he's quality all the way through. So it was a nice win last night. Unexpected. Corey Provis had a great call. It was fun to watch. With Royce doing his Royce thing. It's been a while we've seen that. And right before that, Luke Keeschall got robbed. Just a great catch by the left fielder by Kansas City. Otherwise, I think they may have tied the game at that point. But Keeschall got robbed, and then it was up to Royce.
Keeschall's your favorite Twins player.
He is. He is my favorite player right now. Yeah, I really like. He plays all the positions basically, and I like his attack mode that he gets into at home plate. I do like him a lot. And the Twins have drafted. They got a bunch of catchers, but they're not ready yet. I mean, they got their number 1 pick, third overall this year.
He's not ready yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean that you can't rely on that. And again, with the likelihood of a lockout, we don't know how that's all going to play out. It doesn't matter. Just concentrate on this year and just deal with what you have in front of you. And that means improving this team and keeping the players that are giving you a chance to win. And that includes Ryan Jeffers.
I'd keep him.
I would too. No, I'm with you.
Me.
Yeah.
Let's pause and come back. We have more to get to with the legendary Mark Rosen. It's comment and tend to be. And speaking of tend to be, he has a keyword for us.
Yes, I do. The fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. Keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com.
You're listening to The Common Man.
Well, you guys taught me what's really important in life.
Couple 13-14 pastime comedies tend to be. Mark Rosen here as well. Brian Flores, B-Flow as we'd like to call him, defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He addressed the media earlier today, and it was, and I get the text messages, why do you even do these news conferences? They don't say anything. And you know what? They don't. But he did say, well, Harrison Smith is absent, and then he caught himself and said, I'm just still not used to him not being here. That leads me to believe when they say absent, he's been giving an excused absence because of who he is. He is coming back to play another year. I've felt that way all along. And to me, that practically confirms that Harrison Smith will return to the Minnesota Vikings for year number 13, 14, 15.
I think you're right in that ballpark. Yeah. I hope you're right. No one's been able to really read the tea leaves. I mean, they've left the position open. We know that, Harry can basically walk in the week before they open up against the Packers and put the shoulder pads on and go out there and play and start and play well. I don't think he probably would do that. I think he'd probably come in a little earlier than that, but that's yet to be determined. And it's up to Harry. I mean, he sort of said his goodbyes in that last home game. It was very emotional for him and his teammates, and it certainly felt like a farewell. But it's not a question of him changing his mind. It's also a question of saying maybe at that time he felt like this was it. It very well may be. I mean, he might be done. I mean, it depends where his life's at, but he also may be looking at this roster and coming back to play with B-Flow and understanding where he's at and likes the team and likes everything else about it. Doesn't mind the money.
Well, it's like I've said all along, and I truly believe this is part of the rationale when a player decides to extend it another year. It's like, you did TV for 50 years. You can't play football for 50 years. There are certain careers that there is a shelf life, and it's pretty definitive. I mean, there are some guys that play a lot, quarterbacks can sometimes look at Rodgers as entering year number 22. He definitely said this is it. That's what he says. He said yesterday during a news conference, this is it. You won't
hear from me again.
This is the last season I'm going to play. And I tend to believe him. I really do. I think he knows. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to end well for him. I just don't see Pittsburgh being a factor, but maybe I'm wrong. But I just think if you look at it, if you're like Harrison Smith and you go, God, I could still play one more year. Once I'm gone, I can't go back, and I'm going to miss it. And I like the camaraderie, I like the competition, and I like Sundays. And you know what? I'm going to go push and play another year. And I think a lot of guys think of it that way.
And he's the last guy that brings attention to himself, and all the things that go along with it. But I think the closer you get, I mean, I can't remember too many football players over the years I've interviewed and talked with who couldn't wait to get to training camp and couldn't wait to get to two-a-days and dealing with all the rigors of football training camp compared to spring training. Much different feeling. But I think once you get closer to the season and you get the preseason games going, and then the itch starts getting a little more pronounced. And then, he's obviously got a family decision and all the things that go along with it, but he's probably feeling pretty damn good right now physically. And I'm sure he's working out and he's doing all the things to keep himself in shape. And it's just a matter of mentally. He can just, like I said, he can walk in tomorrow and Flores would welcome him with open arms to help run that defense again. And it may happen. I know the fans would love it. That's for damn sure.
And again, Harrison could be different. He might not have that, desire to play one more year. That, he's fine walking away from the game. Yeah. He's accomplished what he's wanted to accomplish. I mean, he didn't win a big game, but he's accomplished a lot of other things. But I think a lot of those guys want to do that. Some, I think, might not want to come at, when you talk about the roster, maybe he's looking at the team and, I don't know how he feels about it. I think most neutral observers look at the Vikings and say, they're okay. But I don't think there's many people outside the walls of Winter Park and PA that would look at this team and go, well, this is a Super Bowl contender. This team's got everything it takes. They've got all the pieces. They've got offense, defense, special teams. That's not to say they couldn't. They do have a lot of nice players. Everybody makes a big deal about those 5 games that won at the end of the season. I don't put a lot of stock in that for all the obvious reasons. But, so sometimes a guy will go, do I really want to, if I'm not saying he feels this way, but privately he could be thinking, I don't want to play for a 7-9 team. I've had enough, or 7-10 or whatever. Or he could say, I think this team has a chance to win some football games and make postseason play.
And we all know the dynamics of a team, a particular team, whatever, Vikings or whatever, pick your favorite team, changes every single year. It's not the same team. It's not the same situation. Guys have come and gone. Look at the Grenard trade. Look how that, and now poor guy already tore a his pec muscle or something. He's going to be out for an extended time. And that's really too bad. He's a class act, a really good football player. But that's the problem with the game. We haven't even started hitting yet in these training camps, and players like Jonathan Grenard already suffering a major injury. So the dynamics of the team, and looking at a roster, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but you don't know. There might be a couple teams you go, they have no shot at really competing this year. I don't think the Vikings are one of those teams. I absolutely do.
You like this club, I think.
Well, I think I'm anxious to see, and Beefalo was talking about today. Again, he's not going to go take a deep dive, a day into walkthroughs, basically. I think the key guy is Caleb Banks, the number 1 draft pick. I mean, he's a guy that likely would have been a top 10 pick had he not suffered the foot injuries and the surgery. People say, I don't want to take a chance on him. Obviously, the Vikings do their due diligence on him. There's no guarantees about any of that. But the dude's a freak. I mean, he's a freak of nature in terms of his size and strength and speed and all that kind of stuff. And, again, the big if is keeping him healthy, keeping him on the right track. He's a difference maker. I mean, we remember Kevin Williams and Pat Williams, the Williams Wall. Now they got the Big Citrus and they got Caleb Banks. Those 2 guys could make a huge impact, but that's a big, that's a big if. They got to obviously assimilate the entire defense and what their responsibilities are. Although I think for them, it's pretty much see ball handler, tackle ball handler, rush the quarterback, just, beat the guy in front of you.
Well, you talk about injuries and how they can affect teams already. I mean, in Detroit, for instance, both Branch and Kirby Joseph, they're out. They're on the physical performance list, and they're already hurting in the secondary as it is. So that means because of when they had to release Terry and Arnold, or didn't have to, but they chose to do that. Right. And then Jahmyr Gibbs holding out. He wants a new deal, so he's not going to play until he gets a new deal, and he's deserving of one. And this is where Campbell's words could come back to bite him, because they asked him last year during a news conference about all the money you're spending. He goes, and we're going to spend it until we run out of it. Well, they've about run out of money.
They kind of have.
They've spent, and they still have other guys they have to take care of. So you're right. I mean, the injury thing is of any, everybody knows this. Of any other sport, injuries are more likely to happen in football, and they can be more devastating to not just the player themselves, but the team. You lose a left tackle, you lose a running back, a wide receiver, quarterback, any player of, especially one of your better players, one of your difference makers, if they're out, good luck. I mean, there's they always do, they like to do it in the NFL. Well, it's next man up. That sounds good on the surface, but it's really generally not. There's a reason the one guy was a stud and the guy behind him is a backup, because he's just not as good.
And that's why all these predictions are, I'm saying meaningless, but they're really kind of irrelevant because of the way the complexion. You can look at a roster, you can look at your fantasy team, you can look at all those things, and week 1 starts in middle of September, and you can throw it all out the window if you lose one of those key guys, especially a skilled position guy that makes a difference. The quarterback position, the running back position, whatever. You're starting left tackle, as the Vikings all know too well, and then all of a sudden it's a domino effect on your entire football team. So durability is pretty damn important, and that's what you got to hope for if you're going to have a chance to be competitive in January.
More controversial Vikings news and other topics on the other side of the break. Going into our last segment, he's 10 to be. I'm Common. He's the legendary Mark Rosen. We'll break. We'll come back with more after this. The Common Man program on the Fan.
You're listening to the Common Man.
Final segment of the Grum today. I'm Common. He's 10 to be. Mark Rosen here as well. Alec Lewis, you're familiar with him?
Yes, I know Alec pretty well.
Did you read the analysis piece he did about Kyler Murray?
That come out today?
It came, what's the date today? 29th?
29th today.
Came out yesterday. You're a day behind or you're a week behind or a day late. He writes, it says, why Kyler Murray's fit with the Vikings is inspiring optimism headed into training camp. Hopes are high for the Vikings and Kyler Murray among many of the quarterback's former coaches.
I did see that.
Teammates.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
I did, because it had some really good quotes from some of his former coaches saying, I hate the fact I won't be able to coach him now with the kind of talent he's going to be surrounded by.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley, while preparing for a critical season at USC, took time out of his day to verify with the former quarterback at Oklahoma, Kyler Murray, would be headed north to the Vikings. He said, when that was first starting to come together, I was really excited. I think you're about to see the best version of Kyler Murray. This is one of his coaches with the Cardinals now.
Right.
I should make that clear. It says, one signing with the Vikings, one of Murray's coaches with the Cards who requested anonymity to be candid about a former player put the prevailing opinion bluntly. I think you're about to see the best version of Kyler Murray. And I'm bleeping P.O. that I'm not going to get to be a part of it. I'm going to be jealous when he's in a good environment. His headspace is good, and he shows people who the bleep he is. And that's just one of many people showering accolades down upon him. And my only question would be, and that coach requested anonymity, it almost sounds like they're saying he was just in a bad situation in Arizona, that the coaching staff, I don't know if it's the coaching staff, the players, the ownership, the front office, whatever it is, seems like they're basically saying any struggles Kyler Murray had weren't on him. It was other people. And so maybe he is the answer. Maybe we should start planning that parade route come February.
I may want to pump the brakes on that. But at the same time, I think there's probably somewhere in between. I don't think you can just lay it all on coaching situation or what the pieces he was not surrounded by. That Kyler, I would obviously have to take some responsibility as well. And I know his study habits were questioned. He talked to the assembled media today out at TCO, and he was quite said, the more you do it, the more you say it, the more it comes natural, the more it comes easier. Talking about his comfort level in the Vikings offense, and that he's been pretty much buried in their playbook from day one. I was watching, Adam Thielen's become kind of I'm not saying a regular, but I think he's making his mark on ESPN and the NFL shows. I think he's got a real good knack of expressing a lot. And in fact, a couple things he said was that it was driving him crazy dealing with Aaron Rodgers, because he was always nervous that Aaron was using his hand and his fingers to change the play or do different things. And he was always concerned that he might miss it. But also, he's talked about the Vikings and said, KOC has basically
he likes KOC. 30
plays, and when the quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage, you have to know your stuff. You got to know what route you're running. Not that this is new stuff, but at the same time, it shows you that he's throwing a lot of stuff at these quarterbacks, and you better know that playbook, because Jefferson may run it out. He may run a crossing pattern. You got to come in underneath him. That might be play number 18, whatever it might be, and there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not, and again, it's not to suggest he's got the most complex playbook in the NFL. We know that that's probably Sean McVay. But it's just a lot to assimilate. And I think that McCarthy also talked today. And it's just an interesting situation right now, because JJ's been really, he's been saying all the right things. He says, once I got healthier after that Seattle week, Washington, Dallas, I felt like I was hitting that upward trajectory. And I'm certain it's still been going up since then. This guy's brimming with confidence. He wants, he's had 10 NFL starts. I know a lot of fans out there want to throw him out with yesterday's newspaper wash.
You like this kid.
I don't want to throw him. No, I just think when you invest the number one draft pick and you look at his standing and what he was able to accomplish, certainly in college, wasn't a passing offense. I understand all that. But
it's not the NFL, Mark. That's Saturdays, not Sundays.
I just don't think it's time to give up on a guy that's had 10 starts. And this whole conversation about Carson Wentz being the second quarterback, to me, is preposterous.
PA thinks he could be the starter.
I don't know.
Are you saying that the voice of the Vikings, the national treasure, Nash, is crazy?
I'm not saying he's crazy. I just disagree. If that's the case, I just think that McCarthy right now, if everything's kind of aligned to where he should be physically, that he's grown up, he's gotten more mature, he's gotten stronger, he's got a better sense of what his expectations are, and he's got a huge chip on his shoulder, that I would not give up on him. The idea that trading J.J. McCarthy for what, a second-day pick or something? Are you out of your mind? No, we've seen the quarterbacks that Sam Darnold, I mean, don't look no further than that. I mean, what happened to his career?
What about Trey Lance?
That materialize.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
well, we don't know.
Maybe McCarthy's not going to materialize.
He may not. He may not, but I'm not ready to give up on him. Are you? You'd like to trade him today or tomorrow?
Depends what I could get for him.
No, I don't know if you'd get a lot. I mean, right now, I don't know if how many teams would say, we're going to give a second-round pick for J.J. McCarthy. I just don't think they should trade him. I don't think you should ever trade a number one pick that has literally started 10 games and had that kind of, and remember, he had some moments, including the opening game in Chicago last year, where the Vikings were down by, 11 points in the fourth quarter, and he came back and, we know he had the injuries and he threw some awful passes, and we all know that. But that was last year. Now it's
remember Pat Sullivan.
You can come up with a dozen.
Do you remember
names.
Pat Sullivan?
Of course, I remember Pat
1971 Auburn Heisman
You're
Trophy
going back
winner.
to 1971.
How did that work out?
How about Gino Torretta? I mean,
that's my point. So McCarthy won a bunch of games in college. We're happy for him.
I'm not just saying that, at a really good school. I'm not suggesting that those other guys weren't there. I'm just saying his already small body of work in the NFL hasn't been all just god awful. He's had his moments, and I'm just saying, I'm not suggesting he should start. I'm not saying that either. I think, first of all, Murray's going to start. I mean, I think there's probably very little doubt about that. But I wouldn't give up on him, and I certainly wouldn't put him at quarterback number 3. I wouldn't understand that logic at all. Then why are you going to stunt his growth at all? If Murray gets dinged up a little bit, he has to come out for a series or two. That happens plenty of times in the NFL. The emotion, if you're down, you're sitting, if you have to literally hit the field and sit down, it's not like World Cup soccer. You got to get off the field for a play at least.
Pat Sullivan won Auburn's first Heisman in 1971 after setting several school and SEC records while guiding the Tigers to a 9-1 regular season record. He burst onto the college football scene in '69, throwing for nearly 1,700 yards and 16 tutties. As a junior, the statistics soared. He led the nation with 2,856 yards of total offense, including 2,586 passing yards. Along the way, Auburn went 9-2 and ended the season at the top 10 in the nation. For his efforts, Sullivan was named SEC Player of the Year and garnered all SEC honors athletically and academically. But 71 was to be his greatest year. They started 9-0. He threw for 2,012 yards and 20 tutties, edging out Cornell running back Ed Marinero. Your guy, Ed Marinero, former Viking, great actor on Hill Street Blues. To capture the trophy named after Auburn's former coach. Selected by the Falcons in the second round of the 72 NFL draft, Sullivan had 4 seasons with the Falcons, followed by 1 season split between Washington and San Fran. He returned to Birmingham in '77 and worked in the insurance company as an executive at a tire company.
The NFL is littered with
Could J.J. McCarthy be an insurance man or work for a tire company?
It's possible. He's a smart kid. I just think that, look at Tim Tebow. He had some success, but didn't last. There are a lot of quarterbacks who just haven't made it. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's ultimate end result is going to be. I'm just saying I wouldn't give up on him after 10 starts in the NFL.
But if you believe what they say about Kyler Murray here, he's about to have an MVP season.
I hope they're right.
Do you believe it?
It's not a question of believing or not believing. I just go out and prove it. He's got a prove it situation right now because getting paid a lot of money, but not by the Vikings, and he's looking for his. I don't think he goes to bed at night thinking my next contract. He's thinking of how can I get the best version of Kyler Murray. He has a lot of people doubting him. You doubted me, as you like to say, and I don't know if that's the driving force. I don't think he's that kind of individual. Obviously, I've never met the man. I don't know what drives him in the morning, other than the fact that I think he feels like this is an opportunity that hasn't presented itself in his career to be able to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Juwan Jennings and have the tight ends and have that line. They never had a team like this in Arizona. Well, I expect him to be really good this year. But that doesn't mean I want to give up on the guy because we don't know if Kyler Murray has that kind of a year. He has a Sam Darnold type year. The Vikings may be faced with that same dilemma again as they faced with Darnold.
Chase Edmonds, a former teammate of Murray's who played last year for Washington, said, I think how his career has gone the last 2 or 3 years has been necessary for his growth. The Vikings are going to be getting the best Kyler Murray that anyone has ever seen in terms of consistency. Jordan Hogan, a former Cards and San Fran assistant, said, he's not an idiot, and neither is his inner circle. Being in the NFC West, he knows what this type of offense is about. He wants to live in the pocket. He wants to be a pocket passer. He doesn't want to run around because that's how you get hurt at that level, and he knows that. Don Shumpert, Cards assistant from 2019 to 2021, said, I think the play caller will hold him to a high standard, and he needs a coach who is going to be on him, not let him get away from the little things. O'Connell is that type of guy. I think the dude is going to have a crazy year. There was a song by Foreigner called Waiting for a Girl Like You. It sounds like what they're saying about Murray is he's waiting for a coach like Kev to come into his life.
Listen.
Now we have the quarterback whisperer with Kyler Murray. This could be the dawning of the age of Aquarius at the new Winter Park. Your thoughts?
Well, there's enough pressure on the head coach to win a playoff. To start the conversation by saying you got to win a playoff game. You can have gaudy regular season records, but until you start winning in the postseason, you're not going to get mentioned in the same. You might get mentioned as the quarterback whisperer. You're not going to get mentioned with the Shanahans. Even the Sean Paytons. You're not going to be in that elite group until you start winning in the postseason. And Kevin has yet to do that. Now, again, sometimes it's different circumstances. Obviously, not all on him. But the Lions game, obviously the Rams playoff game, that was a disaster.
Yeah, that was the offensive line.
No, it probably was, but I'm just saying, sometimes
Coach admitted it. That's why 20 minutes after the game, he said, we need new interior offensive linemen, and they went and got him.
They did. And
how'd that work out?
Well, now they're keeping the right people. Obviously, they re-signed Brian O'Neill now to a big contract, and they got their offensive line pretty much intact right now.
Speaking of Mike Shanahan, so he was involved in that accident.
Oh, my.
And then the story came out yesterday. He called media into his office to clear up the way it was reported by the authorities. It was the 21-year-old kid's fault, and Shanahan said, let's make it perfectly clear it was my fault. He says he reached for his phone. It slipped between the seat and the console, and then he went across the center line. Do you think this phone slipped between the seat and the console?
Yeah, I believe it's very believable. I don't think they would be able to know if he was on the phone. They could look at the phone and see if he was on it at 2:46, whatever time the accident happened. They could tell. I think it's very believable. He's very lucky, but it does show you. It's a stern reminder to all of us because he's a big name. This stuff unfortunately happens every day, where you get distracted. And in this case, the phone drops, and it's your instinct. I got to pick that thing up, And so you bend down, you're inattentive for a second or two, and all of a sudden there's you're going across the lane, and your life is in danger. Apparently, he almost lost his eye. I mean, But I think he's been pretty straightforward about it. It took him a while. I mean, the story took a while to get released for whatever reasons, but he's very, 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 very fortunate. But again, however you want to describe, drinking something, looking over at a bird that's flying by your window, whatever you're doing, doesn't take much.
No,
it doesn't. Sure doesn't. You don't have to be on your phone. You don't have to be on your device to get distracted. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So. Nope.
What do you think of your Lynx club?
Another exciting win last night. Fee's first home game last night. They had a nice crowd, over 12,000.
Wow, that's a lot of folks.
And Olivia Miles kept doing her thing. I mean, my God. They had that one highlight I saw kind of behind a Pete Maravich, bounce pass behind her back and knocked down.
Between the legs, yeah.
Between the legs, yeah. She's just dynamic. I mean, I don't. When does the postseason start? I can't wait. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
We got a ways to go yet.
Yeah, they have Indiana coming up, Tenna. I haven't looked at their schedule. I think they got the Caitlin Clark. And
is that who she plays for, right? Caitlin Clark. Yeah. Is her team any good? I thought.
They're pretty good.
Are they?
Yeah. We got the Tempo again tomorrow night.
Oh, do they?
The Toronto
and
Tempo.
Then Sunday they host the FIBA.
What's the Fever's record?
They're well above 500.
Oh, okay. Why did I think they were struggling? Oh. Was that last year? I don't remember. I thought I heard that they were.
No, she's got
Caitlin was hurt last year.
Oh, okay. That's why they were struggling. Okay.
That's here, right?
Indiana's in 5th place. They're 18-10.
Yeah, good record. So, yeah, it's going to be good postseason. All we do is win here.
We got the best team in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to sign Quinnesota to a 3-year deal minimum.
Right.
Eventually, his brother's going to come here. We got LaMelo.
Right. They're going over to France to hang out with Rudy.
Twins are they're buyers. It's a bull market for the bullpen. I hope it's a bull market for the bullpen. And then we got Kyler Murray, who's going to be crazy, dude.
And we got the Vixen.
Yeah.
One in.
You like parades?
You know what this is? We have a very rich tradition of sports in this town. What are you laughing about?
We do a lot of heartbreak, but most of the time it ends in heartbreak.
With PJ, row the boat.
Yeah, it's Guardsy. I think Guardsy was there. They had media day. They had, I think 4 or 5 of their 10 captains in Chicago. Meeting the media. Yeah. And I think PJ's point was, I think the Gophers, if I want to get this right, Ken, you correct me. They're the only Big Ten football team that has its quarterback, offensive coordinator, head coach, defensive coordinator, and one other position, something all returning. So we're supposed to hang our hats on that, I guess. But I'm always, come on, I'm excited for the season. I like the big rivalry game.
Flex said that they think they expect to have a really good team this year.
Yeah.
O'Connell says they're really excited. He's back on the grass. There's a lot of excitement in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Twins are buyers. Wolves have everything going.
You would think that all we do is have parades here.
That's all we do.
Okay, we win a playoff
Everything
series.
is so good. Wild are contenders. Wolves are contenders.
Man.
I saw that the latest power rankings in the NBA. Of course, they're meaningless now, but they had. I think the Wolves were like 6th or 8th. They've got. San Antonio is considered, even though the Knickerbockers. And again, there are so many power rankings. I don't even remember which one this was, but it was one of the main sports sites. And it had the San Antonio number 1. I think that's a lot to do with Wembanyama and how young that team is. Then the Knickerbockers were number 2. Number 3 was OKC. And then Philly came in 4 with the addition of LeBron James. I don't remember who 5, 6 there. I think Boston.
Denver,
Boston was thrown in there.
Wolves would be right in that mix.
And the Wolves are like 8th, I think, in that
Really?
mix.
That seems
Yeah, and the guy who wrote the review on them, he was pretty high on them. He thinks with the addition of LaMelo and he thinks and I think a lot of people feel this way, and hopefully it is, and I tend to believe. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be consistently game after game after game because teams will make adjustments, but with LaMelo and his ability to handle the ball and shoot, that should free up Edwards. I mean, that's the theory. The working theory is that 100%. Makes it so that Ant will get. He will get consistently more often. He will get good looks at the basket where he'll be able to score. Whereas we saw last year at the end of the year, teams are just saying Ant will bring the ball across the center court stripe, and they would double team him. He'd have to give up the ball, and the other guys, if they weren't red hot, the Wolves just weren't scoring enough points.
Yeah, you have to have a point. You have to have a guy who can handle the ball and do the things that LaMelo can do, and he does it with a lot of flash. And sometimes he's not the best shooter in the world, but if you don't have one of those guys that can run your offense, and the Wolves unfortunately just did not. I think that's why they ran out of gas, and they got. Io can play a little bit. They got Bones. They got
they got some players.
TJ Shannon. Apparently, I heard Johnny Athletic talk about the fact that wouldn't be surprised if even he moved to kind of like the when I say power forward position, that he could play that spot and give them a little bit more. And Jalen Clark, my guy's been worked. Apparently, his jump shot's a lot better. Everyone's optimistic in July. I mean, Not everyone, but I think
you're
I'm
optimistic.
excited about. I mean, I think it's going to be very entertaining. How successful they'll be, I don't know. But watching LaMelo and Ant every night, oh boy, buckle up. It's going to be some nights you're going, what are they doing out there? Other nights it's going to be like, damn, this team, you can't stop them. Those two guys in the backcourt. So
I'm about to say something controversial.
All right.
That's interesting.
Trey Lyles is going to be the team's MVP at power forward.
Oh my gosh!
Trey Lyles, power forward. We got a backcourt of Ant and
don't forget
LaMelo.
our young French kid too. I mean, we got Beranger. I mean, he's about ready to blow up at the age of 19, 20. Rudy. He can play defense, thankfully, but man, he's still painful to watch. He gets the ball 3-4 feet from the basket.
Yeah,
he just is. But that's not what he's getting paid for.
No, he's not. He's getting paid to be the Stifle Tower is what he is.
Exactly.
So with the trade deadline, we got about a minute here, if that. Yep. I think 10 to start playing the music. I mean, it's nice to hear what Zoll, the GM for the Twins, said yesterday. He said, we're going to be buyers. We're going to try to improve the bullpen. Now, I don't think they're going to get the next Raleigh Fingers, but anything that they can do. I just like the idea that they're at least... if this was a year ago or any time in the past 10, 20, 15 years, they would be trading Jeffers. They would probably entertain offers for Joe Ryan and say, you know what? We've got a lot of young kids we're building. We're going to add to that, and we're going to be ready for silver linings in 2030. That's what they
the fact that Zoll came out and said that compared to a year ago when they had the fire sale and got rid of 10 players. I mean, that nobody said a word a year ago, and all of a sudden people are going, wait. What they just do? Louis Varland has been lights out, and that one really hurts.
Yep.
A local kid. So how do you go get a guy like that? You don't right now, but you got to get someone because I'm even watching the team again last night. Adams is okay. Funderburk drives me crazy. Gives me ulcers watching him on the mound. It's gotten a little bit better, but they got to put the hammer down and get some help right now. Otherwise, it would be a